What is up there, guys? Hello, welcome back. Right, I have a new mold from the Masters of Molds Prince August. This is a pair of Romans, one carrying a spear, one carrying a sword, both bearing shields. So here's the mold. Let's do this. Hi, welcome back. Okay, so like I said, on the Masters of Molds Prince August, I have Roman Wars. I think this is the last in the set that I'm aware of this kind. I do have some others, so I'm going to go ahead and make a few out of pewter. This is the brand new mold, not been used before, so it probably won't turn out right the first time, but we'll give that a go. But first, I've got a little bit of pewter in the pot. It's slowly melting away. But whilst I'm waiting, I'm going to need a bit more pewter, so I've got these old things here. This is leadless English pewter. I can't remember if I got this on eBay, Etsy or charity shops. I do collect from all three. This probably was the charity shop one, I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and bash this up so it will fit into the pot. It is an antique, but it's not unique. They made plenty of them, so it's not rare. So those with a nervous disposition, please look away now. I can't open that, otherwise I would have just... Oh, there you go. It's the inside. It's all pewter apart from the handles and the knobbly thing at the top there. So unscrew. No. Come on. That's that gone. So yeah, this may be a trigger point for some people that are into their antiques, but it's not super rare, this stuff. And they made plenty of it back in the day. I think it was around about 1930s or something like that. I need to bash it up so that it fits in the pot to melt down. I suppose it would be rare if everybody did this. I'm pretty sure they don't, because they're not crazy. Right, I'll go ahead and bash that up and I'll get back. Right. There it is, or was. Whew. Pewter. Leadless. Right, okay, so I've got a tiny bit of pewter in the pot already, which does help. Helps to speed up the melting process. So I'm going to turn it off for a second, because I don't want to electrocute myself. Turn him back on. And you should see it start to melt or shrink down. Oh, you can't see it. Around the other side there's some bits of this handle which I couldn't get out of the pewter. So when it does eventually melt and turn into a big puddle of shiny goo, the bits of handle will just float to the top, and I'll scoop them off. So here we go. Don't worry, it's a wooden handle. Right, so we'll let that melt away. It shouldn't take too long, and I'll get right back to you. Right then. So that's now melted down quite nicely. Just up there is the crud that I scraped off. In there is all the burnt bits, including that handle. So what I'm going to do is, I've got the new mould. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dust this fact, why not? I'll just show you right now. Basically, I'm using talcum powder. Prince August will call it releasing powder. What this does is protects the mould and allows the molten pewter to flow properly through all the nooks and crannies. Not too little, not too much. Right, put them together. Now these are also these boards, they're smooth on one side and the bumpy on the other. The bumpy side goes towards the mould. Just like so. These are also from Prince August, the boards and the clamps. This is part of the starter kit. I always get a spare starter kit, so I'm going to clamp it up. Let's see what I'm doing. Put that one on first, shouldn't I? Yeah, some of these have been used quite a lot, so they're a bit more supple, if that's the right word to use. There we are, that's the clamps on. So now I'm literally going to pour the pewter into each of these holes at the top. Try and get it as close as I can for you to see. I'm going to get in the way a bit here, I think, so apologies. It's going to smoke like crazy the first time. Come on. So I'm going to pour it a little, let it settle. I'm going to pour the other side. Yeah, I can't avoid it. I'm in the way. Just like that. Let that settle. Then I'll pour the centre one. The centre one is going to be the shield. Right, so I'll leave that be for a few minutes, let it go solid, and we'll see the results. Right, it's still red hot, but it has gone solid. When it doesn't, it makes that sound, it's time to check. So we'll take the clamps off. I'll bring it up closer to camera in a sec. There we are. It's the first attempt. Now this bit around here, that's totally normal. It's called flashing. It's very easy to just bend and snap off. But there's the shield. That's actually kind of cool. The Romans. Yeah, there's a little bit there. All the bits that you see that's sticking out extra, I'll just file off. It's not a problem. These bits here get cut off and remolded. There is an arm. Oops, sorry. There is an arm and a pilum or spear. And the idea is whoever gets this would have to glue this on. Okay. Right, sorry if I keep pausing it. I've got to, I'm taking still pictures as well for my Etsy video. Etsy videos are going to be made out of like a still slideshow without any sound. So there's our Roman with the sword. It looks a bit weird because it's got the dust on it. Looks like that's come out okay. Look at the back. He's got a hole in his bum, so not a problem. I'll just remold it. So stick it back in the pot to melt. It does happen quite a lot with these ones actually. So take this one out. again, there's a hole in the back. So what that probably means, put it on the pot. What that probably means, I'll have to make a little ventilation. I'll make a cut there, a groove to allow a ventilation, so that will be a bit of airflow so the pewter can go around properly. So there's the shield. Yeah, the shield's come out alright. The bit around the edge, like I said, the flashing, that'll just that'll cut off, no problem. Right, so I'll set the clamps up again and we'll go again. Right, so I've just made some ventilation ducts, if you like, go into the affected areas, and that goes to the outside. So what we might see is some pewter pouring out of these holes when I pour it into the mold. If this doesn't work, there are other options, like I can drill a tiny hole there and there, and again this side and there, and that does provide more airflow. So let's do this. If at first you don't succeed and all that sort of jazz, right, let's move you over here so I can give you a better angle. Okay. Yeah, see it's coming out the sides. I'll give it a tap. Okay, that came out quite a lot out the hole in the side. I hope that's alright. I'll pour this side. Again, we might see it pour out the sides of that hole, which is okay. Hopefully we won't lose all of it. There we go. Right, do another shield. Come on, don't be shy. There you go. Right, so we'll leave that for about 10 minutes and we'll get back. Right, let's see how we did this time. Hopefully a bit better. Doesn't matter about these bits, we can just remold those. Not a problem. There we are. Okay, so what have we got here? So these are the bits where the airflow allowed the pewter to flow out. They just come off real quick, just like so. And a bit more flashing around the shield. This is a better shield. I did file and cut out the other one. It didn't turn out as great as I was hoping. It's not too bad, I suppose. But I say there's more detail in that shield. So we'll just put that one in the pot, not a problem. Okay, let's get one of the Romans out to check it out from behind. I know that sounds quite awful, but hey, as long as everyone has a good time. Okay, so there's a Roman. Hey, there's no hole. That's pretty sweet, actually. So we know the ventilation has worked. Let's check out this other Roman. Okay, shield. Okay, put that down. So there's the front of him, and the big reveal. Yay, it's worked. You see, it's a bit dusty, but that just brushes off, no problem. Yeah, so what I'll do now is I'm going to make a couple more of these, and I'm going to make some more shields. Then I'll get onto these other moulds, because these are the other Roman moulds. Same size, 28mm. These ones are pylon throwers. And I've also got some sword bearers. Pylon is a spear, just in case you didn't know. Right, cool. So I'm going to make a couple more of these and yeah, I'll get back to you. Right, I've done a couple more over there whilst they're cooling down. This is what the sword thrower, sword carrier. You see on the end of his free hand there, he's got like a ball. And then at the back of the shield is a hole. So it goes into there. So what I've said to people is to use, well, this is what I use anyway. This is no more nails, invisible, for indoor use. And this works really well. So what you do, just squeeze a bit out. It's not a great amount, sorry. Into that hole. I know it comes out white, but it does, when it dries, it's invisible. And it's really good stuff. Just like that. There we have it. So what I'll just grab the other Roman. It does take a little while for that to dry. You can use obviously other stuff like super glue, but if you're going to use super glue, I recommend using super glue gel. Now this one's a bit fiddly. Goes across his chest, something like that. And then I've got the shield to put on as well. Now when people have got these from me, I've not really glued them together. For obvious reasons, they probably come loose again in the post. Okay, so just literally hold that in place. Yeah, it's a bit fiddly, this one. So there's that. And I'm going to wait for that one to dry before I put the shield on. But you get the idea. Alright, so there's a couple that are finished there. They're the ones that I've glued. So yeah, I'll be keeping those for myself. There's a couple here that have been made, ready to be glued. Quite simple to do and quite fun to make actually. Right, so I've got a couple more molds. Not that one. So I've got some pylon throwers and some sword bearers. Let's start with the pylon thrower. I'm just setting the mould up. I've dusted it already. Just putting the clamps on. Now this is where I obscure your view. Apologies. In fact, let's put this tripod up. Just carry you over. How about that? Right then. So the mould is cold, therefore it probably won't work as well. So it does work better when it's warm. I like to tap it because from experience I've found that it helps go around all the nooks and crannies inside the mould. Right, so back in a sec. Right then, let's see how these turned out. I am actually slowly running out of time. It's gone on a bit longer than I had hoped. Oh yeah, a lot of flashing there. Yeah, I've actually got a couple of holes I can see in the soldiers themselves. So what I'd have to do is again do some ventilation channels there, which I won't do today. I've actually run out of time. But hey, at least we've made a few Romans. This is what they would look like when the glue's all set. Then it's up to you then, or whoever, to paint them if you wish. Job's a good one. Right, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Really appreciate that. And of course, give my video a thumbs up. That really helps me go a long way. Right, thanks a lot, guys. Until the next one, I shall see you then.